On the nights of February 2nd, the United States launched strikes against pro-Iranian militias in the Middle East. What we see now is footage of an Iranian militia ammunition depot in Qaim, Iraq, hit by remote weapons, causing a rapid explosion. Rockets can be seen scattering in all directions, resembling fireworks. Today, we'll analyze the causes and consequences of this attack. The reason for the U.S. strike is straightforward. Just a few days earlier, on January 28, pro-Iranian militias launched a drone attack on a U.S. military base in Jordan, resulting in 3 U.S. military deaths and over 40 injuries. Despite having anti-drone systems, the U.S. military reportedly failed to intercept the drone, which followed a U.S. drone to the base without being recognized as an enemy, leading to significant casualties. Following the attack, the Biden administration stated its reluctance to escalate tensions or engage in war with Iran. However, Secretary of State Blinken mentioned that the U.S. would respond in a multi-layered and phased manner. On January 30th, President Biden announced that he had decided how to respond to the deadly attack on U.S. forces in Jordan. Despite U.S. anger, Iranian leaders insist they had no involvement in the Jordanian attack. They warned of retaliation if Iran were attacked. Regarding Iran's knowledge of the Jordanian attack, U.S. Defense Secretary Austin stated on Thursday that it is irrelevant. These are Iranian-sponsored proxy organizations, and whether Iran knew or not is unclear. Still, it doesn't matter because these groups, funded by Iran, provide conventional weapons training and equipment. Without Iran's support, such attacks would not happen. According to a New York Times report on Thursday, in anticipation of possible U.S. attacks, Iran has placed all its armed forces on high alert, activated ground-to-air defense systems, and deployed ballistic missiles along the border with Iraq. On February 2nd, U.S. Central Command conducted airstrikes in Iraq and Syria against the Iranian Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps' Quds Force and its affiliated militia organizations. The U.S. deployed a significant number of aircraft, including B1B bombers taking off from the United States, targeting over 85 locations and using more than 125 precision munitions. The attacked facilities included command centers, intelligence centers, and ammunition depots. Following the airstrikes, videos surfaced online showing the targeted area in Qaim, Iraq. From the map, Qaim is located in the northwest of Iraq, bordering Syria. This region is not controlled by the Iraqi government and has long been under the influence of Islamic extremism, formerly under ISIS and now controlled by pro-Iranian militias. Although the U.S. targeted over 80 locations, the main focus was on 7 areas, with 3 in Iraq and 4 in Syria. White House spokesperson Kirby spoke to reporters on the evening of February 2nd, stating that the U.S. conducted strikes on 7 facilities, 3 in Iraq and 4 in Syria, lasting for 30 minutes. He mentioned that B1B bombers took off from the U.S. and flew continuously to the combat zone. Online, Western users identified 3 of these locations, all concentrated on the Syria-Iraq border, an area not controlled by either the Syrian or Iraqi government. It has historically been a core area of ISIS activity and is currently controlled by pro-Iranian Islamic extremist groups. According to reports, not only the U.S. Air Force but also the Jordanian Air Force's F-16 fighter jets participated in this operation. Although the military organization supported by Iran attacked a U.S. military base, the fact that the U.S. bases are located on Jordanian territory means that an attack on the U.S. is a violation of Jordan's sovereignty. Therefore, Jordan's response is not surprising. This situation reminds me of the Asia-Pacific region, where the U.S. has numerous military bases in Japan, including the Kadena Air Base for the U.S. Air Force and the Futenma Base for the U.S. Marine Corps in Okinawa. Many on the mainland believe that if conflict erupts in the Taiwan Strait, the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, might use ballistic missiles to target these U.S. bases in Japan. These bases are on Japanese soil, so an attack on them would essentially mean declaring war on both the U.S. and Japan. Even Jordan does not tolerate pro-Iranian militias attacking U.S. bases on its territory, let alone Japan. Now, let's shift our focus back to the Middle East. In this recent attack, the U.S. deployed B1B Lancer bombers. On February 2nd, General Kurila, the commander of the Central Command, issued a statement along with a video of B1B Lancer takeoff. These planes took off from the U.S., refueled mid-flight, and continuously flew to the Middle East to carry out the bombing mission. The B1B is a stealth supersonic bomber capable of carrying 34 tons of bombs, 27 tons of external weapons, and performing low-altitude flights. Though its stealth capability is not as advanced as the B-2, it has a relatively small radar cross-section, making it excellent among current bombers. With 62 active and 24 reserve B-1Bs, the U.S. has 2 squadrons equipped with B-1Bs, the 7th Bomb Wing at Davis Mountain AFB in Arizona and the 28th Bomb Wing in South Dakota. During the mission, mid-air refueling for the B-1B bombers was conducted by the U.S. 100th Air Refueling Wing based in the U.K. This unit, formerly known as the Bloody 100 in World War II, equipped with B-17 bombers, is depicted in a recent U.S. TV series called Masters of the Air, recounting the story of the 100th Bomb Group. According to Forbes, the U.S. Navy did not participate in this attack in any way. The U.S. Navy in the Middle East is represented by the USS Eisenhower Carrier Strike Group, currently deployed in the vicinity of the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. They are engaged in maintaining maritime security in the Red Sea and conducting precision strikes against Houthi rebels in Yemen. Earlier in January, the USS Eisenhower deployed F/A-18 Super Hornets and launched multiple Tomahawk cruise missiles from the USS Florida, targeting Houthi radar stations and ammunition depots. The intensity of this U.S. attack was relatively small, focusing not on Iranian military bases but on extremist Islamic organizations affiliated with Iran in Syria and Iraq. It's evident that the Biden administration is approaching the situation in the Middle East with great caution. Given the ongoing conflict in Ukraine and recent clashes between Israel and Palestine, the Biden administration is hesitant to escalate the scale of military actions. Even in the face of various retaliatory options presented by the U.S. Defense Department, including targeting high-ranking Iranian military officials or sinking Iranian military vessels in the Gulf of Aden, President Biden opted for the least escalatory response. He did not directly attack any Iranian naval facilities or military personnel, but instead conducted precision strikes against pro-Iranian militias. It's apparent that, in the current circumstances, President Biden is unwilling to engage in direct conflict with Iran and is striving to avoid escalating the situation in the Middle East. How do you perceive President Biden's approach to this situation?